Hey everybody, it's me, Keshana Dance. I am back again with another video. That's right, I'm hitting you with the tips, tools, strategies, and knowledge that you have. All things, whether it's home care or health care, I got you. Okay, I am a home care business coach or business coach, whichever one you want to call me. I help people level up in their business, even on a budget. So, what I'm going to be talking to you today is about different businesses that are in the healthcare industry that you may not have thought of. So, today I'm going to talk to you about a group home versus a transitional living home, right? So, let's get right into it. So, y'all know me, most of the times I have my notebook. I love taking notes, I love writing down things to help me stay focused and stay on track. And then, whatever information that I'm finding out, whether it's through the week or research and reading, that's me. I love to read, watch videos, research, get information, right? So once I get the information, I'm giving it out to you guys. So we're going to discuss three things that you want to pay attention to or consider, whether you want to start a group home or whether you want to start a transitional living home. So I'm going to go over three things that you need to think about before deciding which one that you want to go with. Okay. So I'm going to try to make this video nice and sweet for you guys. All right. So the first thing is, when considering either one, you want to think about the services. What type of service can you offer with the group home or with the transitional living home? So, with the group home, a lot of times the services that you offer are going to be 24-hour care, meaning supervised, right? So the services and whatever's involved within those 24 hours, right, is going to be, it can consist of light housekeeping, meal prep, transportation. You're taking them to and fro. If you have to, it just depends. Now, on the flip side of things, with the transitional living home, you can have unsupervised care, right? Because the transitional living home is more for those people who are independent. They can do daily activities, things for themselves. Whether on the other side, depending on what type of group home, those type of clients may not be able to do things for themselves, right? So that's a difference. Now, with the 24-hour care, that means that you're going to have staff around the clock, right? So you're going to have a rotation of dependable people, hiring dependable people. And if you don't have a good hiring process in place, then you definitely want to reach out to me, because I have helped a lot of my home care business owners, even group home owners, put in place a automated system for hiring, streamline, right? I make it easier, less paperwork, more online. So that's just a side note. But on the other hand, with the transitional living, you don't need staff. So if you're really thinking and trying to decide, just that first difference or point alone should get your mind going. 24-hour care staff versus no staff. Okay. So, second thing that you need to look for is payment, right? And it doesn't matter what type of business that you have or what type of business that you start. We all want to know how we're going to get paid. Where is the money coming from, right? So with a group home, there's different types of group homes you can have, but majority of the time they are going to be either state government funded, meaning that you will be getting funds from the state. So that means you have to submit billing to the state in order to get reimbursed, right? So that's another whole aspect. And it doesn't matter what type of business you have in healthcare. Um, Majority of the time, you're going to have to know about billing and claims, submit billing. You need to have an idea. So even though if you hire someone to do it for you, it's better that you have an idea as well. On the flip side of things, with the transitional living home, and it depends on what state you're in. There are some states that will give you state and government funding depending on the type of client. Now, if you want to know more information about what states and what type of clients, um, just book a call with me and we'll talk about it. But for the most part, they will be paying you out of pocket. So, depending on if they are adults, which they would be adults in the transitional living home, whatever their income is, whether they're working, Social Security, um, different things like that, they will be responsible for paying you out of their monthly income for living in the home. So, one is you will get the funding from state or government. The other one is they are responsible for paying you out of pocket. So that's something to consider, And side note, if you're going to do that route with the transitional living home, you definitely want to make sure that you have your structure. And what I mean by structure, having a appropriate contract, lease agreement, um, those type of things. You want to make sure that you have those in place so that it will help with accountability when it comes, when it's time to make their payment for living there. So those are two things that you need to look at when it comes to the difference of how you will be getting paid with a group home or with a transitional living home. Okay. So the third thing that you need to consider, right? So, as I mentioned before, depending on what type of group home you have, would be based on what type of clients, right, you could serve. So, with the group homes, if you don't know, there are different types. So, one type is you can get a group home under APD. Now, if you're in Florida, it's called APD, which is for the disabled clients. But if you're in other states, you do have an agency for the disabled. The acronym may not be APD, but I've done the research. All the other states have agencies for the disabled, right? So that is one type of client that you can serve in a group home would be your disabled clients. Another type could be foster kids, right? So a lot of people think of foster kids as, them coming into your home and living with you. No, there are foster kids, group homes. You can have a group home of foster kids and serve them, as many as up to six, depending on what you're licensed for in your home. So that is another option or another type of client you can serve. And then a third type would be adults with behavior issues. So I used to be a substance abuse nurse at a facility that helped with those who suffer with mental challenges, who had mental disorders or substance abuse issues. I worked it as a substance abuse nurse around these type of clients, right? So some of them would be very aggressive, who would act out because they had mental disorders going on. So if you were to get a group home and only serve those adults who have behavior issues, that would be another option. Now, of course, with those type of clients, the risk is higher, but also the reimbursement rate. So the pay would be higher, but also the risk. So something to consider. Now let's jump over on the transitional living side. Okay, what type of clients? Who can you help with that? Okay, so on your transitional living side, you're going to be able to help adults. Now, this can be homeless adults, adults who they're having a hard time, making it on their own. They need somewhere to stay. So, of course, the first type would be your homeless adults. The second type of client you could serve would be those who are recently released from prison, right? So we don't think about these type of people that, a lot of times when they're released from prison, they're coming back into the world. Some of them may not have the family support in place or have a place to live or lined up, and some of them end up being homeless if they don't have the right support system. So you can offer a transitional living home specifically for these type of people who are being released from prison. I know a lot of people who offer these type of homes. They do it as a nonprofit, and it is so needed and so this type of work is so beneficial to our community. So I applaud those of you out there who already have these type of transitional living homes out there. You're helping the homeless. You're helping those who are recently released from prison. And the third type of client that you can serve with the transitional living home is going to be your aged out foster kids. So a lot of times when children are in the foster care um, system, once they turn 18, they are released a lot of times. Now, unless, different circumstances, unless they're going to school or, they, it just depends. There are circumstances where they're not immediately released. But just like with the group home helping the foster kids up to 18. You can also have a transitional living home that would take over at 18. You could house those foster kids that don't have anywhere to go. They don't have any family support. They need extra guidance. They need that push, maybe to get a trade or to go to college, or enough time to just figure out what they want to do. Sometimes a lot of those children have been through a lot in the system, and some of them, they need healing, they need guidance, they need love. um, they need someone who's going to be understanding and who has that natural gift and call to serve those type of clients. But that is an option. So if you love, working with children, teenagers, even though they're 18, they're still babies. But if you love that type of work, then maybe starting a transitional living home as a nonprofit could be something for you to do, and to fulfill your call and your purpose in community. So I gave you at least three different type of clients that you can serve with a group home and you can serve with a transitional living home. So I've given you enough information to decide on what you can do. And then also with the transitional living homes, and this is just an extra bonus, there are grants. So if you decide to start one of those as a nonprofit, there are grants out there that will give you funding for your transitional living home. Now, how do you go about getting them and writing them? That's another video. But I do know people that I am connected with who have those as nonprofits. They get grant funds. Now, will you have to do some work? Yes, you may have to do fundraisers, ask for donations. But if it's truly something that you want to do, if it's truly your purpose and your call, I just truly believe that God will make a way, that you will get the funds, you will get the support, you will get everything that you need will just come together. Not saying that it won't be any challenges, because whether it's nonprofit or for profit, anytime you're stepping out on faith and doing something that you feel called to do, yeah, there may be challenges, there may be some opposition, but the opposition is only letting you know that you're moving in the right direction. So always remember that. Don't view opposition as something negative and bad. It's letting you know that you're moving in the right direction. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. The information is something that you can use and it'll help you make a better decision. Now, if you want more details, I got connections. I have clients who own group homes and transitional living homes. If you want to know more about how to set them up, then contact me, book a call with me, and then I can go over the different details of, things like that, what you need to know, what you need to have in place, and also startup costs, because I didn't cover that in this video, but it is startup costs with the group homes and the transitional living homes. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification so that every time I drop a video, you are the first one to see it. Please share and like this video and leave me a comment at the bottom. If you want to connect with me, go visit my website. It is virtualhomecaresolutions.com, and stay tuned and watch the next video. Thank you.